afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is actually Friday, June 14th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, overlooking the throne, Jeremy Pierce. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And today's show, Clash at the Castle 2024. We're going over the show, looking at the card, preview, and predictions. This is going to be a little abbreviated show, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right, so with this year's Clash taking place in Scotland, and you know, WWE's had a couple past shows in foreign countries, it's time to up the ante. So these are the next 3 countries where the WWE should have an international show. We're going to start with number 3, Mexico City, Mexico. Now listen, they've toured every now and then there, but they don't really, I believe, really have the exposure to the Mexican audience like AEW does, like New Japan does, because they work with those companies. Those AEW and New Japan and even TNA work with CMLL. They work with AAA. And when you have Rey Mysterio, Carlito, and Santos Escobar on your roster, you need to give them one time for the one time a trip down south where they can be treated like gods. And they've earned it. They've all earned it. They all deserve it. And you can really see the difference. Remember what happened when they went to Puerto Rico? I'm just saying. Number 2, Mumbai, India. I think they've been there before, but it hasn't really been anything super crazy. One of the most populous countries on the planet. WWE is global. They are global, and it's time to take that just a little bit further. Mumbai will be a unique experience. You get to see a different lay of the land with the fans, with their culture, and I just think you need to really soak it. Imagine a set with like the Taj Mahal. It would be great, and you treat it as such. I would very much enjoy a show in Mumbai, India. And of course, number 1, Tokyo, Japan. They have not held a giant show there. Not a pay-per-view. Like, they haven't held a pay-per-view there in I don't think ever. Other countries, other companies have shows there. The WWE, look, they want to be global, and they are, for all the purposes, global, but you haven't held a show in Japan. Like, do you want to compete with New Japan? Do you want to compete with All Japan? How would that work out? How would the Japanese audience really accept the WWE product? Because they're used to a different type of product, and I feel like they would lean more towards, you know, obviously New Japan, but Stardom, TNA, AAA, AEW. I would love to see the experience of the WWE in front of a true Japanese audience. We'll be right back. The spotlight is shining, and it's on 2 people for me for this show, and they are the obvious main event. That will be Drew McIntyre and Damien Priest. Why is it on these 2? Well, Priest has to prove that his championship reign will be good, and Drew McIntyre has to prove that he's not a fluke. So starting with Damien, he cashed in with the Money in the Bank. He won, and he's had a solid reign. I mean, his first title defense, I think his only title defense so far, has been against Jey Uso. So are you really taking the championship off of him this soon? And Drew McIntyre, well, he's been up and down and tossed around, and he's has one goal, to be champion, but he's been blaming everybody but himself for his failures. And yes, there is some truth in what he's been saying, but there's also a lot of hypocrisy in what he's been saying. He is now home in front of everybody, his people. Drew is the outsider. I'm sorry, Damien is the outsider. What will these 2 cook up? I'm curious, and we'll dive into this later into the show, but these 2 have to show up and show out and warrant being that top spot. The spotlight is on both of them. What will they do with it? right, ladies and gentlemen, Clash at the Castle 2024. Here we are. It's a solid show. It's another event where WWE has like 5 matches on the card. That's really annoying me. But we'll take a look at that later. Let's look at the last Clash at the Castle, which took place in 2022. For some reason, I thought there was one in 2023. Time flies. But we had 7 matches with one on the pre-show. They had a match on the pre-show. Could you believe that? So the pre-show match was Madcap Moss and the Street Profits defeating Austin Theory and Alpha Academy in a random match. The opening contest was Damage Control, the team of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky defeating Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. What? Don't remember that. I really don't. I don't even remember Damage Control getting a win over Bianca Belair because it seems like they always lost to Bianca Belair. Our next match on the card was Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship, and we all remember this match. A banger of a match. I cannot believe they haven't topped. They've come close. They've come close. The next match after that was Liv Morgan defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler, defeating her by pinfall. Liv was on a little bit of a run here. Then we had Edge and Rey Mysterio defeating the Judgment Day team of Finn Balor and Damien Priest, but we all know what happened here. Dom turned on his father and ended up joining the Judgment Day. Then we had Seth Rollins defeating Matt Riddle in a solid affair, and of course the main event was Roman Reigns retaining the undisputed WWE Universal Championship over Drew McIntyre. I think this was the debut of Solo Sikoa. I'm not 100% positive, but I think this is when Solo debuted. But again, Roman is going to Roman, and the reign was going on. Let me take a look back. Hold on. No, this was Tyson Fury getting involved, and it still didn't help Drew win. I forget when Solo Sikoa. Oh yeah. Solo Sikoa debuted during this match. I was right. I just remember this and remember. Look, story beats. But anyway, let's get into this year's card. So this year's show has 5 matches. Once again, WWE does this dumbass 5 matches on the card. They're going to get away with running another 5-match pay-per-view. And personally, they could run 7 matches on this card. If I'm thinking about everything that's going on, they could definitely run Braun versus Ilya in a rematch from Raw. They could definitely run Kofi versus Karrion Kross, everything that's going on there. They can even run that SmackDown Tag Team title match. Like, you can't get away with just 5 matches on the card, but I digress. So our first match is a triple threat match with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Isla Dawn, the team of Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, and the team of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. And even though Alba and Isla have the hometown crowd, they're not even the favorites. Alba got choked out by Shayna on Monday. Just done, dead, over, finished. And they were just an afterthought. And I don't want to say that the WWE wants to easily go to the Bianca versus Jade well just yet. Jade still needs work, but she's done a very, very fine job. I am completely over Bianca Belair. I am just over Black Girl Magic winning all the time. I'm so glad Bayley's the champion right now. I fear for when Charlotte and Alexa Bliss come back for Bayley. I'm crying inside. I'm crying for when they make Bianca Belair a single star again. But the team of Bianca and Jade has been good. That I cannot deny. And of course, we have Shayna and Zoe. Now, I think Shayna might be the favorites here. They've been gunning for these titles, and I think they are a really tough test for Bianca and Shayna, for Bianca and Jade, just because Zoe and Shayna are just really, really tough and will fight to the death. This is hard to pick because I can see every single team here walking away. Would they go double hometown wins here? I don't think Isla and Alba are winning. This is tough. This is really tough. I think you've got to rebound Shayna and make her Shayna Baszler again. So I'm gonna go with Shayna and Zoe Stark to win the tag team titles here. They really haven't capitalized on Shayna and Zoe sending Trish and Ronda away. Like, they haven't really done that, and it's time to capitalize on that. So we're gonna go with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark walking away as your new women's tag team champions, but expect something to happen. I don't know just yet. Next up, we've got Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles on an I Quit match for the undisputed WWE Championship, and we're running it back. AJ gets his second title shot after Logan Paul got the last one, and remember, Cody won the first match versus AJ, so this match came about with AJ faking his retirement a la Mark Henry. So here we are, and Cody was the one that requested the I Quit match. Do not forget that. It was Cody that did it. So here we are, and this is tough because the last couple of matches where the champion looked at a disadvantage, they won. I will never forget WWE for having Shinsuke lose that last man standing match to Seth. Could they really do something of making AJ Styles win? Would they really have Cody say I quit after his appearance on NXT? The match is going to be good, right? But I'm talking like the outcome is in doubt, and the outcome really shouldn't be in doubt. I think Cody's winning here, and we got to rehabilitate AJ Styles again. Cody's winning, and it sucks because I don't like when WWE creates a new heel and they look great and they look dominant and they lose. Like, Shinsuke should have beaten Seth Rollins a couple times, and I think AJ should win here, but he's not. So take Cody Rhodes to walk away as your champion. Next up, we have Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental Championship against Chad Gable, and this one is really, really interesting because there are a lot of moving parts here. So essentially, the story goes, Chad Gable couldn't defeat Gunther for the championship. A lot of people came close. Chad was probably the closest until Sami came along, and Chad trained Sami to defeat Gunther, and Sami won. So now it's like you couldn't beat the guy, so you trained someone else who ended up beating the guy. That must make you feel like crap. And Gable has just become this bully, and he's been bullying the Alpha Academy. He's been tearing them down. He's been tearing down Tozawa and Otis and Maxine, and Sami's been trying to uplift them. But caught in the middle of all of this is Otis. So the question is, what side does Otis pick? Where does he go? But there's a caveat here. There's a wild card. That's the Creed brothers. Because we've seen we've seen Gable talking with them a couple times over the last month or so. And after the Creed brothers got annihilated by AOP, could we see a change? Could we see Ivy now turn on her friend Maxine Dupree? Could we just see everybody side with Gable? Because this is what Gable wants. He wants the Intercontinental Championship. Sami's had a nice run, but in my heart of hearts, in my head of heads, I think Gable's walking away champion, and I think Otis is going to help, which sucks, which it stinks, but I get it. I get it. But the match should be really, really good. Next up, we have Bayley defending the WWE Women's Championship against Piper Niven, who's also has the hometown advantage. So this is the second match where someone has the hometown advantage. That's solid. That's really solid. And here's the thing, Piper and Bayley are going to be great here. That promo they cut last Friday on SmackDown each other was absolutely amazing. Bayley's like, I've been watching you, Piper. You're so good. You don't need Chelsea. Watch your Dominion Classic. And Piper's like, you've come here with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you've been treated and chosen and this, that, and third. And if you really knew me, if you really respected me, you wouldn't be standing so close to me. I was winning championships long before you ever stepped foot in. Like, it's just so good. I'm glad that Piper Niven has a spotlight on her. She has rightfully earned it. The match is going to be good because I've seen Piper wrestle. I know how good Piper is, and y'all know I love me some Bayley. This match is going to get some time to breathe, and it's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really good. But I think it's going to be the second match in a row where the hometown wrestler falls just a little bit short, and Bayley is walking away as your women's champion, and that's okay. Piper's going to look great. It's going to be like when Zelina lost to Rhea in Puerto Rico at Backlash like 2 years ago. Okay? In our main event, Drew McIntyre taking on Damien Priest, who will be defending his World Heavyweight Championship, and the Judgment Day is barred from ringside. Damien Priest's reign has not been long. He won the title at WrestleMania. He's only had one title defense. One. And that was against Jey Uso at Backlash. So, Drew finally has another shot. The Judgment Day are barred from ringside. There are no excuses, except there will be an excuse. And that excuse will be in the name of CM Punk. That asshole will show up. So the question is, does CM Punk cost Drew the title? It's a really good question. I say yes. I think Drew will end up with the title at some point. I just can't see Damien Priest's reign ending so soon. And there's a lot of moving parts here. You got Liv. What will she do? You've got, obviously, Punk. It's tough. It's really, really tough. I think Damien Priest is walking away champion thanks to CM Punk, but I don't think it's over. And it sucks because I think Drew should get this moment to win the championship in front of his fans, in front of his family, and it's going to suck. I'm like, I want to be wrong, but I also don't want Priest's reign to be over. You know what? Screw it. I'm changing it. I'm changing it. Drew McIntyre is winning. Drew McIntyre is winning here. CM Punk's going to mess up. Drew's winning. I'm changing. Drew's winning. It just feels like the right, smart, safe choice. I see the implosion of the Judgment Day coming, and it's going to boil over at some point. It's probably going to start here. But one more time, our winners for me, I have Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark becoming the new Women's Tag Team Champions. I have Cody Rhodes retaining over AJ Styles. I have Chad Gable defeating Sami Zayn to become the new Intercontinental Champion. I got Bayley defeating Piper Niven, retaining the Women's Championship. And I have Drew McIntyre defeating Damien Priest to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Coming up this week, check out the list we got posted. We got more lists next week. We got a Let's Talk About It, the WWE TNA partnership. We got a Flashback Friday coming up, Faction Warfare, another Let's Talk About It, and of course, Forbidden Door, baby. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Anna J, Isla Dawn, Gigi Dolan, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Anna J. Holla at your boy. Thanks to Anna J twice. Anna, holla at your boy twice. Peace. Oh, and Bailey.